Good morning, everyone. I hope everybody's having as nice a day thus far as I am. We're sitting out here in the front yard with all these gorgeous flowers, the birds, there's bees, there's butterflies, just taking in what God's blessed us with. But I thought I'd talk to you this morning about, well, my daughter tells me don't just call it the good old days, but that's what it is. But I think it all depends on your perspective of age, which I'm older than dirt. So the good old days to me are a different time frame. But I'd like to share some of the happiest memories that I have when I was a child, probably in the early 1940s, early to mid 1940s. My sister and I, she's 3 years older than I am, Mother would put us on a Greyhound bus together without an adult supervision, imagine that. And Mr. Chastain was the bus driver. She made a box lunch for us with fried chicken, of course, because we're in the South. And whatever snacks she had that she could put in there, they would all be homemade, nothing purchased. And we were not allowed to do anything or go anywhere without Mr. Chastain's approval. Generally, there would be an older lady on the bus as well who would see to it that we got to a restroom at one of the spots. One of the funniest things to me about the bus ride was the bus driver would always announce the name of the approaching towns that they were going to stop, because they stopped at every pig trail and back alley crossroad along the way between Central Florida and North Florida. Well, anyway, I thought it was funny when he said, Micanopy. That just tickled me to death. Now, of course, a lot of the towns in Florida have Indian names, and few people pronounce them correctly anymore. But they try, so I guess that's okay. Anyway, when the bus arrived, by the time I was old enough to go by myself, when the bus would arrive at the bus station in North Florida, my aunt, Rose, who was probably 18, 19, somewhere along that at the time, would walk down to, I could walk to the drugstore where she worked, and she would buy me a soda, Coca-Cola. And the people at the bus station were kind enough, they'd keep my little suitcase there. When she got off work, we'd go back and get the suitcase and go out to the farm. The farm was probably 8 or 10 miles from where we were. Now, this is not a paved road all the way out to the farm. It was a double track dirt. And the farm was a very early version of farming in Florida, and most people did. They had a batten and board house. The only heat available was the fireplace. Then the separate building was the kitchen and dining area, dining room, but it was all one building. Had a porch all the way across the front, where there was a bench out there with a oak bucket of water, which incidentally did come from a faucet. It came from a well, which you pumped by hand up and down with that handle, and it had a wooden dipper in it. And we didn't worry about germs back then. Everybody drank from the same dipper. My grandmother cooked the most marvelous meals on a wood stove. Now, how can you gauge the heat on a wood stove? Beats me, I never knew. But she could, and she made the most wonderful, nourishing meals out of the least amount of ingredients that you could possibly have. However, being on a farm, there was more available because very few of what they ate was purchased. Of course, you had to purchase sugar, salt, and flour. We didn't eat a lot of rice, as I recall. But if you were going to eat rice, you would have had to buy it, because we sure didn't grow it in North Florida. They had a smokehouse, and raised their own, excuse me, their own meats, and were very self-sustaining. Let's just say, this had to have been maybe at the tail end of the Great Depression. I don't know. I know Mom spoke of that. She remembered it from her earlier years. So, but that's just about as much time I think as I'll bore y'all with today. So y'all come back, you hear?